Chapter 3 of Reaching the Marianas, The Battle for Saipan by John C. Chapin. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. D+1 to D+2, 16 to 17 June. The next 2 days saw the Marine attack resumed all along the irregular front. The 2nd Division, after reorganizing, pushed its 6th Marines northeast toward Mount Tipopali, its 2nd Marines north towards Garapan, and its 8th Marines east into the swamps around Lake Susupi. Direct contact with the 4th Division was finally established. Close combat was the norm. There were no exceptions for battalion commanders. Lieutenant Colonel Justice M. Chambers, commanding the 3rd Battalion 25th Marines in the 4th Division, later described 2 of his experiences on D+1. We came to a big bomb crater. The soil had all been thrown up, and around it there were 3 Marines protected by the dirt. I called up to one of these Marines and asked him what was going on. One of them said that there was an anti-aircraft gun right down in front of them. I crawled up within 2 or 3 feet of the top of the dirt and raised up on my hands to see what was down there. Within about 25 to 30 yards, I was looking right into the muzzle of an 88mm anti-aircraft, anti-tank gun. They had swung the damn thing around, and it was pointing right up the hill. I was looking right down its muzzle. I dropped as hard as I could, and then the damn gun went off. The shell tore through the far side of the bomb crater, came through the dirt on the near side of the bomb crater where I was. It took the head off the Marine with whom I had been talking. The shell went on back and landed about 20 or 30 feet beyond us where it detonated. Later that same day, he had another close call. We had, as we had advanced, uncovered various Japanese supply caches. One of these was an ammunition dump. About 15:05, the Japs blew the large dump near where I was standing and caused numerous concussion casualties, including myself. I don't remember a thing about it. The boys tell me that when the blast went off, I was thrown right up in the air, and I turned a complete flip and then landed on my face. On the night of D+1, the Japanese again launched a major attack on the 6th Marines, this time with 44 tanks. Major Donovan later described the wild clash. The battle evolved itself into a madhouse of noise, tracers, and flashing lights. As tanks were hit and set afire, they silhouetted other tanks coming out of the flickering shadows to the front or already on top of the squads. The Marines poured in their fire, now with 2.36-inch rocket launchers, grenade launchers, self-propelled 75mm guns, and their own artillery and tanks adding to the din. When dawn broke, it was over and the shattered hulks of 24 Japanese tanks lay there smoking. In the 4th Division zone of action, the left regiment, the 23rd, also had a difficult time in the Susupi swamp. The 24th and 25th drove inland to the east towards the key objective of Aslito Airfield. With the danger looming of overextended lines, Lieutenant General Holland Smith pulled the 165th Infantry out of his reserve, the Army's 27th Infantry Division, and sent it ashore on D+2 to reinforce the 4th Marine Division. This same day, Major General Ralph Smith came ashore to take command of the additional Army units of his 27th Division as they landed. With the 165th Infantry on its right flank and the 24th Marines to its left, the 25th Marines was poised on the north edge of Aslito Airfield late on D+2. Its patrols found the strip was abandoned, but the 165th, assigned to capture it, decided to wait until the next day. The division had finally approached the 01 line, except on the left flank where contact with the 2nd Division was again broken, this time near Mount Finasusu. This same day, 17 June, saw a crucial command decision by Admiral Spruance. With the powerful main Japanese fleet now approaching Saipan, he ordered his fast carriers to meet the enemy ships, and that night withdrew his transports and supply ships from their offshore support positions to a safe distance from the Japanese threat. Sidebars. Major General Harry Schmidt. Major General Harry Schmidt was the leader of the 4th Marine Division in the assaults at Roy Namur in the Marshall Islands and then at Saipan in the Marianas. Born in 1886, he entered the Corps as a second lieutenant in 1909. By extraordinary coincidence, his first foreign duty was at Guam and the Marianas Islands, an area he would return to 33 years later under vastly different circumstances. The Philippines, Mexico, Cuba, and Nicaragua, where he was awarded a Navy Cross, second only to the Medal of Honor, interspersed with repeated stays in China, were the marks of a diverse overseas career. At home there were staff schools, paymaster duties, and a tour as assistant commandant. By the end of World War II, he had been decorated with 3 Distinguished Service Medals. Retiring in 1948 after 39 years of service, he was advanced to the 4-star rank of general. His death came in 1968. A contemporary described him as a Buddha, a typical old-time Marine. He'd been in China. He was regulation, old establishment, a regular Marine. Major General Thomas E. Watson. Major General Thomas E. Watson, as a Brigadier General and Commander of Tactical Group 1, built on the 22nd Marines, led his men in the conquest of Eniwetok Atoll in the Marshall Islands in February 1944. For this he was awarded a Distinguished Service Medal, and the 22nd Marines was awarded the Navy Unit Commendation. He took command of the 2nd Marine Division in April 1944. In June, he directed his men in the conquest of Saipan and then Tinian, receiving a 2nd DSM. Retirement came in 1950, and he died in March 1966 as a lieutenant general. With a birth date of 1892 and an enlistment date of 1912, he fully qualified as a member of the Old Corps. After being commissioned in 1916, he served in a variety of Marine assignments in the Caribbean, China, and the United States. Given the nickname Terrible Tommy, Watson's proverbial impatience later was characterized by General Wallace M. Greene, Jr. as follows. He would not tolerate for 1 minute stupidity, laziness, professional incompetence, or failure in leadership. His temper in correcting these failings could be fiery and monumental, as both Marine and Army officers found out at Eniwetok and later Saipan. Divisional reorganization. The training before Saipan was based on a new table of organization for the Marine divisions. Their size was reduced by 2,500 men to 17,465. The artillery regiments each lost one of its 75 mm pack howitzer battalions, but the infantry retained its previous units. Rifle squads, however, were reorganized to total 13, using 3 fire teams of 4 men with each team built around a Browning automatic rifle, BAR, a 50% increase in the division of this valuable weapon. The number of 60 mm mortars in the division table of equipment was similarly expanded, while the number of flamethrowers grew tenfold. In addition, the tank battalions were able to replace their antiquated light tanks with mediums. End of Chapter 3.